They are getting ever so farther out. And that's how it ended, with two spacecrafts docked together and spinning around for some reason, probably the Kraken acting on them. But how did we get there? Well, hello everyone, I'm Pietro, and in this video I'm gonna show you and try and explain to you how to dock two spacecrafts into orbit around Kerbal. In the footage that you can see on screen, I am building a standard spacecraft for this kind of mission. I'm gonna use the same spacecraft both for the target and also for the chaser. It's a single probe core with some fuel, some reaction wheels to aid with stability, batteries to have the electric power, the electric charge that we need to run those reaction wheels, an engine obviously to perform the bigger parts of the rendezvous maneuvers, and also some monopropellant fuel. Why? Because we are gonna need reaction control thrusters to be able to control the velocity and the position of our spacecraft with respect to the target once we get close enough. I am adding the reaction control thrusters at the height of the center of mass so that they do not destabilize the spacecraft while we activate them. Here I'm adding also some solar panels and starting to struggle a little bit with the fairing. The fairing is colliding with invalid assembly part. What do you mean, game? What? Is it colliding against itself? So as you can see there, the problems started and I could not figure out a way to solve them. I tried to put the part away, bring back another one. I tried to move the batteries, think that they were in the middle. I tried to go up, to go down, and nothing was working. I don't know what kind of solution we could do if not going for this other method, which was simply going the old way of when in Kerbal Space Program 1 we still did not have the fairings, and so applying at the top a separator, a stack decoupler, and on top of it a nose cone, which was the best idea that I could have in this moment, the best way to move on and then try and proceed for the launch. Here I am adding a first stage with a swivel engine. I added two solid rocket boosters to the side, the small thumper ones to get that initial boost off of the launch pad, and I added some struts to make sure that the satellite was fixed very well to the launcher and was not swobbly as it could have been otherwise. Checking the staging, as always, a very important thing to do. Setting up some launch clamps, giving a name to the spacecraft, and now we are ready to go try and launch it and see how the launch is gonna go. Maybe some foreshadowing I can give it to you. It's not gonna go super well, and we are gonna have to go back to the vehicle assembly building and modify the rocket before the next attempt. And this is the lift off. Let's go. Shooting at the launch pad of a gigantic rocket. Not so gigantic, I guess, but 15 FPS gameplay, that's what I like. But guess what? FPS do not matter like in GTA, so no need of that. And I'm already losing control of the rocket because I pitched it too fast. Not realize that those boosters were gonna run out so. Creep. Oh, come on. Yeah, didn't quite go to plan, as you might have seen. Therefore it was time to go back to the drawing board, to go back to the VAB and change how the rocket was built. The old days of Kerbal Space Program 1 were not useful in this case, and so I just put a fairing, a small fairing, so 1.25 meters fairing. Apparently this time it worked. The previous one was the 2.5 meters. I don't know if that's the particular one that has problems, it was my spacecraft or what. And I also added some fins at the bottom to help with stabilization during the launch, and this time, luckily enough, it went better. Here we are again on the launch pad, ready, set, go. This time we're gonna skip the countdown. And let's rage that our rocket is not gonna flip out of control. Oh not gonna tilt it so fast. So yeah, this time it went definitely better. I dropped the boosters and everything was still fine. I kept being vertical for a longer time and paid a little more attention to my gravity turn, that I started a little higher in the atmosphere. You see here at 35,000 meters I can go practically horizontal, drop the fairing, and everything was fine. Obviously it's not the most optimal trajectory that one can take, but for the rocket that I built this time, apparently it was the necessary one to use. And so, since we don't want this part of the rocket to come into space with us, and now it's gonna crash into the planet, as we can also see from the map, it's gonna crash down there. What we're gonna do is simply separate ourselves from it, like this. Then we can activate our small little rockets and push us away very slightly, so gently. To simplify myself the job of docking then with this target, the best way possible was to put it in one of the most precise orbits that I could. Therefore I tried to go in a circular orbit at about 200 kilometers of height. There you saw me deploying the solar panels. Now I am circularizing a little bit at a time. I raised the apoapsis a little too much, and so I had then to flip my spacecraft around and burn in that direction to slow down, reduce it, and here I did the same to make perfect adjustments with the reaction control systems and get in the orbit, and now we are ready to launch the chaser. And now we wanna get and attach ourselves to our target. The target is what we launched previously, so let's set it as target. And we are gonna wait for it to be more or less at the left border of the nav ball, so about now. This means that now it's for us the time to launch this second rocket. Therefore again. No. This stuff was put in the wrong order. Okay, nothing happened. Okay. Apparently I forgot to save the changes that I did to this thing. There were some shenanigans there, some scary things, but luckily enough I managed to get through most of them, and then I launched the rocket practically using the same method that I did before, staying vertical for a longer period than usual and starting the gravity turn at about 20 kilometers of height. And the tricky part this time was to try and make our apoapsis coincide with the orbit of the target when the target was in that position. And how to do that? Well, that's the tricky part, and that's the reason for which I decided to make this video, to try and give my advice on how I've been doing this in the last 9 years playing Kerbal Space Program 1. Ooh, we are very close. These two indicators show us where we are gonna be and where the target is gonna be. So it shows us that the target is gonna be in front of us, behind us at the first encounter, and we are gonna be in front, and also at the second. So what I'm gonna do is gonna go in an orbit that is a little bit higher, and in this way, being in a higher orbit, I'm gonna go slower than the target, so that when we are gonna get we're gonna encounter it again, we are gonna be closer. You see that the distance from target is decreasing, so let's make it go and become very small. Okay, it does not get smaller than this, so we are gonna again get rid of this first stage and let it go and crash against the planet, go away with our reaction control system so that we don't hit it back, and check from the map. We are gonna be at 313 meters per second of relative speed, which is quite fast, so we are gonna have to start slowing down a little bit before getting to the target. Okay, the close encounter disappeared for some reason. That's stuff that happens in this game. So now these indicators show us where the the target is, we switch to the target relative velocity, and we activate our rocket to slow down our velocity with respect to the target. Let's go to the map view so that we can see. Okay, now we're gonna pass at 650 meters per second. We're gonna be very close to the target at 652 meters of distance at 186 meters per second. So let's continue keeping an eye out on the nav ball and try to make these two circles, the yellow one and the white one, coincide, which means that we are gonna hit the target if we don't slow down enough. This is all a game of balancing the relative velocity. We don't want it to be too small, otherwise we're gonna start to drift away, but not even too big, otherwise we're gonna hit it very fast. We are 30 seconds away from closest approach, therefore it's time to go into the real view. And being 300 meters away from our target, let's keep on decreasing the velocity until we're about 2-3 meters per second of relative velocity. Flip around our spacecraft. And now we can use again the reaction control system, which are these small little rockets on the sides, to direct our speed so that it's gonna be exactly in the direction of the target. Can time warp a little bit to make this part be faster. So for simplicity, I can just turn around the target spacecraft, then go back to the other. And now, slowing down again. We are 66, 65, 64 meters of distance. What we want to do is align this docking port with the docking port of the target down there. And we see that we are not pointing exactly at the same direction. So let's try and aim our spacecraft, trying to understand which controls make it be in the same direction. And let's wait for them to line up. Let me just speed up this part here because there's nothing going on, if not just the two vehicles approaching and a little bit of maneuvering, but not much. Okay, so we are about to come up to the docking. We lined ourselves up. Now the relative velocity is very slow, so with this reaction control system it's hard, since this reaction control system is quite powerful for the small spacecraft that we have. But we have our docking ports aligned. We're trying to get the velocities aligned too. And ever so slowly, with Kerbal on one side, a galaxy down there, I guess our galaxy, and the moon in the background, we are coming up to the first docking of my Kerbal Space Program 2 career. In a few seconds now. Oh, look at those gorgeous flares of light from the solar panels. And look at that, they are going, they're about to dock. Let's go! We docked 2 spacecraft in orbit around Kerbal. Look at that. This could be considered the first little space station. I don't know what's wrong with this little reaction control thrusters here, but why is it inside of the thing? And also the batteries. Everything moved, what? Okay. Wow. Dude. Oh, that's so cool. Oh wow, look at that. And so after admiring that marvelous sunrise in space, well, I decided that it was the time to do something with these two vehicles docked together, right? And so I tried to control them, I tried to move them, and they were not responding. There were communications, they were close to Kerbin, but they didn't wanna respond to my controls, and then, yeah, stuff happened. Okay. What the fuck? No! Stop! Ah! What the fuck? No! Please, game! What the hell? Okay, there's no need to do this shit. Why are you doing this? They are getting ever so farther out. RIP. Well, I wanted to go around the moon with this stuff, but apparently we cannot. So let's go back to the vehicle assembly building. And so yeah, this brings this video to an end. Unfortunately, I did not bring the two spacecraft together in an orbit around the moon as I supposed to do, because they are still there, they are not spinning, but they are stretched out, and I don't think they are gonna work. And nothing, I hope that you may have learned something from this video. I hope that it was clear enough. Maybe if there is any doubt or something that you would like to ask, just leave a comment. What should I explain next in a new Kerbal Space Program 2 video? Let me know. Maybe leave a like, consider subscribing, that would be really appreciated. I wish you a good day and catch you everyone next time. Bye bye!